Y'all, we are on week 20 of our Effects on Violin series. This series has been a blast for me to do. We have covered a ton of stuff. This week we are talking about guitar solos, and we'll talk about what all that is in just a second. As a reminder, in this series for the last 20 weeks, we've been hitting a different effect every week, talking about what they are, how you can use them, bringing in some artists to talk about how they use that particular effect in their work. This entire library of stuff is really incredible. These artists have contributed a ton to this. And this week we are talking with the amazing Nina DiGregorio. She has made an entire career out of copying guitar solos, out of covering guitar solos, and making them sound so close to the original that people are accusing her of just bow syncing or whatever. She is really, really, really good at this. So we're going to get a chat with her. That chat is almost an hour long. So I'm going to keep this video pretty short, put up a link to that chat right here where you guys can check that out as soon as we're done here. And I think you're going to dig that. She has a lot of wisdom in this area. Pretty much every amplified violinist has wanted to cover a guitar solo, at least one, right? To be honest with yourself. And it's pretty hard. What you discover when you try to do this is, oh, this is a lot harder than I thought it was, trying to sound like a guitar. Guitars are very, very different from violins. They use a pick, we use a bow. They have a flat bridge, we have a curved bridge. They're tuned in fourths, more or less. We're tuned in fifths. The range is very different for an electric guitar than it is for an electric violin. Kinda. Rhythm playing especially is really hard to copy with the guitar because there's just so many things about the mechanics of the guitar that make it hard for a violinist to do what a rhythm guitar player does, right? But solos, on the other hand, fiddle music has a unique sound to it, and a lot of that sound is because it's written to take advantage of the unique construction of a violin. We use the fact that the violin is tuned in fifths, that we like using open strings, that we try to stay mostly in first position. That's why fiddle music sounds the way it does. Similarly, the entire canon of rock and roll has been recorded with the mechanics of the guitar in mind. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't play guitar, so we're going to walk through some of the unique attributes of a guitar so you can understand kind of what we're dealing with when we're trying to copy what guitars can do. First of all, the range of a guitar. The high E string on a guitar, they have two E strings. The high E string on a guitar is an octave below our high E string. Next one down is a fourth down. It's a B. It would be like second finger on our G string. Next string down is a third below that, a major third. G, which is equivalent to our open G string. And then it's all fourths down from there. We've got a D, which would be first string or first finger on the C string for a violin. A, which would be second finger on the F string of a six string violin. And then E, which would be third finger on the B flat string of a seven string violin. So they can make whole chords at a time. They can play 6 whole notes at a time, which is really handy if you're a guitar player. The minor pentatonic scale, which is the building block of blues and jazz and rock and roll, there are patterns that they can use on the neck. They can very easily play a minor pentatonic scale in any key, anywhere on the neck. They're just little patterns. It's also fairly easy to play complex chords with just a simple shape of your hand, much harder to do on the violin. And then there's the whole thing that Tracy Silverman has gone after, which is a lot of the muting and the percussive playing that they can do. Much, much easier to do on the guitar than on the violin. But guitar solos are a whole different animal. In their solos, guitarists are usually trying to sound more like violins. They're playing more 1 and 2 note lines. They're smoother. They're more lyrical. They're not using sort of the attributes of the guitar that are hardest for us to copy. They're using the attributes that are easier for us to copy. Now, extended range violins are going to be really, really handy in this pursuit. As far as going up the neck, the 24th fret of a guitar, if they're all the way up, is just harmonic E on our E string. So third position on a violin can get you high enough to cover pretty much anything a guitar can do. It's on the low end that we've got to worry about things. A 6-string violin gets you within a half a step of that low E on a guitar, and a 7-string gets you below that. In fact, it actually gets you below what a 7-string guitar can do. All of that is really, really cool, but what we really want to hear from, we want to hear from the expert. We want to hear from Nina, and that interview is, again, I put up a link to that earlier, and there'll be a link, in fact, right here. There's a link right here. Please subscribe to our channel first. Here's a link to the interview with Nina. Here's a link to some other stuff you might want to check out, and yeah, enjoy. Go learn how to play some guitar solos.